Taco Tuesday is back, baby. Let's go. I am your host, even though Addison tried to take it from me there for a little while. I forgive you, Addison. Don't worry. Taco Tuesday. I am Calvin and Hobby. You can find me there. That's my Twitter handle right there. And I'm joined on this Ask DLF. The goal of this show is to answer all your fantasy football questions, help you dominate your Dynasty leagues. A lot of important things coming up in Dynasty leagues. You cannot be taking this time off. You need to be active. You need to be looking around. I had some time off. Addison filled in. I really appreciate that. And Tyler. And I just wanted to, before we get started, say a lot of people reached out to me. I really appreciate the people that did send me Twitter messages. And I am good. I appreciate everyone who did that. Even if I didn't respond, I will. But I appreciate all those. Tyler, how are we doing today?
I'm good. Really, really good. I have a lot of energy. And yeah, I'm good.
Have you written like 700 articles in the last 3 weeks that I've been out or what?
Well, actually, I did write a lot of articles about the rookie class. If you go on to DLF, you can read them. You can see my film takes. How exciting. That's something you don't get to see every day. Film takes from Tyler. So go read those at dynastyleaguefootball.com. And you can find them along with everyone else's articles, which I would suggest you read. We covered every rookie or will cover every rookie in this year's class, every one we decided to. I think we got to 60 or so. So you can go read all of those. It's a series at DLF.
Addison's been cranking out content there on the YouTube channel. That friendly smiling mug right there has been filling your screens with lots of rookie content, and I'm sure doing an amazing job at all of those. I've kind of checked out a little bit, but I'm going to go catch back up on it. I appreciate it, Addison. And I'm so excited that it's the three of us right here. I'm so excited.
Happened, right? Did for a minute.
Yeah, it did for like half a show. But I'm excited for a whole show.
Yeah. Lots to talk about this week, of course. And if you have never watched this show, then welcome to the show. This is, like I said, we're going to be answering a lot of questions. Before I get into anything else, I just want to say, shout out chat room. If it is your first time, this is the best chat room in the history of YouTube right here. These guys are amazing. Ask your questions, even if we're not getting to them right in the moment. Sometimes we get behind. There's a lot of people that are responding and doing a great job of that on there and just having a lot of fun. And I'm great. I am glad to be mixing it up with all of you here. If it is not your first time, welcome back, and let's get this show rocking. We start Matthew Carver. Even before we started, checking in early. Appreciate that. 10 teams, super flex league, trade away Amon-Ra and Michael Carter for Mecole Hardman, Brandon Ayuk, 306 and 407. Is that decent or is it trash?
Shout out to the chat. There were messages 5 hours ago.
Yeah.
Just so you know, we only can see, I think it's maybe 30 minutes before the show, we actually shows up on our side. So if you put messages 5 hours in advance, we can't see those. But I looked at the live chat when I was looking at the video earlier, and there were messages at 4 o'clock. Yeah. So this is not the first question. But anyway, this is a very interesting trade, but I'll take the Amon-Ra side pretty easily, actually.
I was just looking for that, Addison. Thank you.
I didn't want my face to be covered. I'm kind of a big deal, so.
What do you think about this trade here? Amon-Ra and Michael Carter, Hardman, Ayuk, and 306. Oh, 306 and 407.
Carp, you said Amon-Ra pretty easily, right?
Yeah, I think so. I don't really see the other side. It has big failure in Mecole Hardman, a lot of failure, and then picks that are not so important. So I would rather have Carter over that. And then Amon-Ra and Ayuk are kind of similar. I'd rather have Amon-Ra by a slight amount.
Easy.
Yeah, there we go. Easy. Clean sweep it. Jason Hammond, am I missing something on Zonovan Knight? Just watch some of his highlights, which is a great way to scout. But we'll get into that. He looks pretty darn good to me. Is there a reason that no one is talking about him? The first time that I got it in so much trouble on highlights was Eno Benjamin. I loved it. Go look up Eno Benjamin's highlights. They were awesome. And that got me into some trouble.
Well, I see how that got you into trouble because he's not very good. Yeah, he's actually very bad. So he's very bad. So I can see how that got you into trouble.
What do the metrics say on Zonovan, Addison?
Yes.
Tell us.
That's what I was looking up here while we were talking through the last one. I mean, he ranks pretty low in terms of the markers that I'm looking for, but he just misses on a lot of the stuff. Like, just barely misses on BMI because he's at 29 and some decimals. I'm looking for 30. His best season of receptions was 21. I'm looking for 25. So he's just barely misses on a few things. But I mean, he's 5'11, 210 pounds, ran a 4.58, so that's not fantastic, but I mean, it'll do. And for a late round, fourth round kind of rookie pick, it might not be the best way to go if he gets pretty solid day 3 draft capital to a team where he could, potentially ascend with some injuries or whatnot. I'm always looking for running backs with my late picks more often than not, because if those guys do hit, they're usually worth more in Dynasty, so could work out.
Absolutely going off the board right now, according to DLF's ADP and rookies, 38th rookie, RB14 among the rookies. So not costing you a whole lot, Carp.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was born in April 2001, so he's young, so I like him. I will tell you that Zonovan Knight is way beyond the point where I do a lot of research. So for most of the players at that stage in the draft, I just wait to see if they get the draft capital, because the odds are that half of them I'm not going to care.
Love it. Edward Trevino checking in. You guys are the best. Happy Taco Tuesday. It's always happy on Taco Tuesday. Mystical Child, official YouTube. Let's go. Let's friendly go, boys. I'm not sure exactly what that means. The F. What else could that stand for?
Oh, that's one
He says, do Twitter follower and Patreon here. By the way, thank you again for answering my 2 tight end questions on Twitter today. Tyler, I'm assuming that's
this is me, for both of these things. I don't remember that question, but I appreciate you. And people have to remember that I do not remember every question I answer on Twitter. I get about 1,000 notifications a day. So I gave you my best advice at the time, and then it was we moved on. But I got to be that way.
FF Lefty is hyped. What's up, gentlemen? Joyous Taco Tuesday to you. What's up, FF Lefty? Appreciate you.
Great. He deserves a personal shout out. I gave a personal endorsement to FF Lefty.
Henry checking in. What's up, Henry? Appreciate you tuning in to the show. I haven't seen him in a while. Has he been here the last few weeks, or is this?
Yeah. No,
okay.
This trade was. We talked about this trade last week, and I get the same reaction from me this time.
You got CMC for Zeke plus 114 in a 16-team IDP league.
I don't understand that one. I must be missing something here. That's weird. CMC's worth way more.
CMC very easily.
Yeah, worth way more. But I had the same reaction to that trade last week. I was like, okay, congratulations. I guess Henry's a legend. Hey, Henry is a legend, if anyone's.
He is a legend.
No.
2 firsts for Cup got rejected in a 12-team IDP league.
Well, that one's more reasonable, right? That's more fair, I would say. And the first one is not fair.
FF Lefty at Jason Hammond. I like Bam Knight as a 4th-round rookie flyer. If he gets drafted, expected he will be pretty late. I like, just go back to what Addison said, like running backs taking those late. I think that is, because what you don't want to do is take the chance that or why is that a better position, I should say, Addison? Just ask you that and let you explain it.
I mean, they're just the way that I play Dynasty. My typical methodology, I guess I should say, is I usually don't roster a lot of wide receivers. I just prefer to roster guys that I'm plugging and playing every single week. And then I want to be able to roster like maybe twice as many running backs as I do wide receivers, because I want to make my decision at RB2 or at flex with running backs that, when I know that they're playing, they're most likely going to be the guy and getting the volume, and, like those like backup kind of players, just a whole bunch of them. So whenever an injury does happen, hopefully that benefits my roster. And that's kind of the way that I go through. So that's just kind of fits the bill with drafting all these rookies. I mean, you grab guys that if they're the RB2, maybe the RB3 on a really kind of sketchy-ish kind of roster, it could end up working your way through training camp and preseason and injuries in season and stuff. I mean, I don't want to say that that's like why Elijah Mitchell did so well for me. Like, I actually think that he is actually a very good running back, but that was one of the reasons why I loved Elijah Mitchell so much, was because I viewed that depth chart to be very easily ascendable, if that's a word, for Elijah Mitchell. And it worked out at his late third, fourth round rookie ADP. So, and then they just become more valuable because rookies are really, scarce as a position. So I would rather hit on a guy like Elijah Mitchell, or at least take the shot on that, than all those other, what are you doing with Anthony Schwartz right now? What are you doing with Dwayne Eskridge? I don't really want any of those guys. I'd rather.
Well, they're failures, so you can't have that, right? If you have failure, that makes the team much worse. But if you and going on this, if you listen to me or Ryan McDowell, these are the two people I hear talk about the most, him and me, talk about roster cloggers. Who are all the names on the roster clogger list? What position do they play? They're all wide receivers, right? Devontae Parker, roster clogger. Tyler Boyd, I used to say, was the most expensive roster clogger. He's good, but he still doesn't have any value. You can't trade him. You can't start him. You can't cut him. You're stuck with him. Whereas a running back, couple injuries and you can start them 1 week, 2 weeks, or you can flip them that week. They're not roster cloggers in the same way. So I totally agree. I just don't know if Zonovan Knight, Bam Knight, whatever you want to call him, is my first choice. He's probably not who I'm looking at. Pierre Strong is the one that I'm more looking at, but he's kind of rising up higher at this point.
Keontae Ingram.
Keontae Ingram is lower, right? He's lower than, or I have him lower, but Pierre Strong, I don't know if he still counts.
Who's the guy that I was randomly hyping up the other day? Shoot,
Max Borghi?
Who was it?
Max Borghi? You've talked about him, or Master Teague?
Yes, Master Teague. I was just randomly, hey, yeah. There we go.
Oh, the reason why Trey Sermon didn't do well in college. That Master Teague.
Bingo.
There was one guy, Kennedy Brooks is getting some discussion lately. But, again, not my area of expertise, but he's getting some Twitter hype.
Jerome Ford is my guy. If he's
Jerome Ford counts. Jerome Ford is way up higher.
Yeah, he's my RB5.
Yeah, I think is going to get day 2 capital, so I don't think he counts.
Snoop Connor, just for the naming possibilities, you probably need to wait and get like an extra 5th round pick and take him.
Yeah. Also, Jashawn, is this how you pronounce this? Jashawn Corbin is getting some attention. Just keep that name in mind. I recently added him to the bottom of my Patreon ranks. I don't know too much about him, but I would keep an eye on him. The Florida State running back.
Ryan, few messages here. Welcome to be back. I appreciate that. I missed all of you guys.
People demanded it. They demanded. I heard it louder than anyone. The demand for your return.
Fire lineup every time. The couple of hours that we did this at one time, this was a lot of fun, and so it's no doubt going to be a lot of fun. Already off to a great start. Kevin wants to know, are there any sneaky quarterback landing spots for rookies? Landing spots. What are we thinking?
What would be sneaky? Like, I feel like I've talked about almost every spot as a possibility. I don't know what qualifies as sneaky. On my Twitter thread today about Malik Willis, there was one spot mentioned that I thought was odd. It was like the one where it's like, I don't think so, but if it could happen, especially Minnesota was mentioned in the thread. And I hadn't thought about that before, but I don't think Malik Willis is going to make it to 12 overall, but I could see it. There was some discussion that they were interested in Justin Fields last year. I think that would qualify as a surprise. I don't think it's going to happen, but that's why it would be a surprise.
I think it will be interesting to see if one of these spots, like for instance, you mentioned Justin Fields. What if Chicago spends a pick on a quarterback? That'll be interesting information, right? Like I think
that
Miami certainly with the weapons they've assimilated there, like there's a chance that becomes a sneaky. Arizona. That's a potential sneaky spot where there's been, talk about baseball player Kyler Murray. We're looking for sneaky stuff. We're looking for stuff that's probably not likely. We're talking about like barely a non-zero chance, but that's.
Miami doesn't pick until like 102nd overall. So
yeah, and Chicago's a second rounder too.
Yeah, that one seems unlikely. There is
Tennessee.
Okay. A recent mock that I saw gave Tennessee a quarterback at 26.
I could see like Desmond Ridder or somebody like that.
I think it was Matt Corral, but I'm not sure.
Oh. If the Steelers pass on Matt Corral, I'm going to be.
No, I think Malik Willis was on the Steelers in that mock.
Oh, so never mind. Then I won't be mad.
But Arizona, I guess, would be interesting if one drops to 55 overall. If Sam Howell is still there, if one of these guys drops to late second, could Arizona or Dallas or even Green Bay take them as that one? Take them as a backup. Green Bay would be funny. That would be something.
Depending on the draft capital, I could see a situation where it would say more about the quarterback that's already there than it probably would necessarily about the quarterback that's coming in. I don't think we expect any of these quarterbacks to come in and necessarily beat out an established veteran, but you could see some trade ups that maybe make you raise your eyebrow a little bit about some of the currently projected starting quarter. Like you mentioned, Minnesota. Vikings make a trade up. That's going to say a little bit about with a new coaching staff and all that in there. That's going to say something.
Yeah, I could see it, but I do think that Carolina at 6 is definitely going to take a quarterback, and then Atlanta at 8, Seattle at 9 could consider it. I do think, though, that Malik Willis is going to go Lions at 2. I still think so. I hear a lot of people saying no, but I think that they will.
Have we fully considered a quarterback to the Giants, just to finish that off?
As someone who's from New York, the odds of that seem to be almost zero. I disagree with it. I think they should, but everything I read from up
5 and 7.
No.
I don't know.
I'm not saying they shouldn't. I don't see it. I don't think they're going to. As crazy as that is, I don't think they're going to. I actually think it's very likely that a quarterback is picked at 5, and whoever wants the quarterback, the Giants have made it clear that they want to trade back. So I actually do think it's likely a quarterback could be picked at 5, just not by the Giants.
I guess with the state of quarterback, there's so many answers to this, right? Like, it's not like there's less teams that are set at quarterback than I think you realize.
Could Washington move up?
Team.
I don't think Washington would move up. No, I don't think so.
Or if they just kind of sit there and see what happens. I don't know. There
was another, speaking of Washington, there was a mock that I saw recently, 47 overall. Washington ended up with Sam Howell in that one.
Oh, my goodness.
So I'm just saying that's another one that I saw today. So there are, yes, but I don't think at 11. I don't think Washington is going to spend the first round pick on a quarterback. But at 47, I could totally see it.
Edward says, how much more on top of Hollywood Brown would you add to get up to A.J. Brown in Superflex? Tyler?
Hollywood Brown doesn't matter in terms of A.J. Brown. I mean, Hollywood Brown is irrelevant. So, compared to A.J. Brown, he's irrelevant. So, what is A.J. Brown worth in a Superflex? The 101 or close to it? So, that essentially, maybe a little less, but
I was going to say it has to be early, like 103, 104.
Oh, no, that's not. That won't cut it. This class is a lot of big failure. AJ Brown is very good. I don't want to trade failure for something already starting with failure. Bad class. So I can't have that. If I'm not getting Breece Hall at least, or Malik Willis with the rushing upside of a quarterback, 103 doesn't do anything for me. That's compared to AJ Brown is just not comparable. We know that AJ Brown, when AJ Brown is healthy and playing well, is one of the best wide receivers in the league. I think he has a top 5 fantasy ceiling, despite the fact that he plays with Ryan Tannehill. We've seen the upside with Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill is just okay. Just okay. So what is the 103? Kenneth Walker is like a
Walker, Burks, London.
Yeah, bad wide receiver prospects, wide receivers that would be the wide receiver 4 in most. Yeah, but they would be, though. None of those wide receivers are all that great. They would be the wide receiver 3 or 4 most years.
London would have been my 2 last year, probably.
Year 2?
I like London.
Not for me.
Well, but are we not considering the fact that Rashad Bateman changes number to 7? We've never seen a successful wide receiver wear number 7 before. So Marquise Brown's going to get all the targets.
No, I don't want the people to think that I hate Marquise Brown, because they don't. But just compared to AJ Brown, he's not worth anything.
Just gotta see it from all sides. That's all.
Yeah.
Bearded Native, welcome back, Cal. I appreciate that. Open 24 hours. Good to see y'all. How much weight do you put in Kenneth Walker's lack of receptions in college? Is he a guy that is a bad pass catcher, a guy that just wasn't using that role? Addison, how much does that weigh in your metrics?
Nah, you need to go find Alfredo Brown on Twitter because he tweeted out this little montage of every single pass target to Kenneth Walker at Michigan State. And boy, I mean, you want to see just like horrible screen pass design. Like, and not even to mention that the quarterback couldn't even get it to Kenneth Walker. It was just, it's absolutely horrible. Kenneth Walker can catch. There's a few clips in there where you see that he can very clearly catch the ball. It was just more of a problem of underutilization. I don't really know what happened at Wake Forest. That was really weird. I even asked Ray GQ about that before I did my profile on Kenneth Walker. Like, did you see anything that happened between Wake Forest and Michigan State that for Kenneth Walker, like, did he get that much better? Or was Walker just that at Wake Forest and then Wake Forest just never realized it? And it seemed to be more of they just never realized it. So I'm not at all concerned about Kenneth Walker's lack of receptions in college. And I definitely do think that he could be a 40 reception kind of guy in the NFL, which is like Dalvin Cook or, anything like that. Like that kind of role where he gets 240-ish carries and another 50, 60 targets and you're good to go.
Yeah,
Tyler, what do we think?
I wrote the 2020 on Kenneth Walker a while ago. I didn't see a problem. I think he'll be fine with receiving. I don't think he's limited to a 2-down role. I think it's possible that NFL teams could make a mistake and pigeonhole him into a 2-down role when they're not supposed to. Mm-hmm. And that could be a problem, but I'm not overly worried about it. Let's see where he lands, see if he gets the draft capital and see who he's competing with. But yeah, no, not worried.
I don't know the answer to this, so I'm genuinely asking this question. I feel like we do this a lot, where we're like, oh, they definitely can catch the ball, running backs, but they didn't in college. Is there an example of some that didn't do that in college that all of a sudden were good 40, 50 reception pass catchers in the NFL?
I'm sure I can find that for you. Probably not within the time span that you need.
Yeah, like Ezekiel Elliott, right? Like Ezekiel Elliott was pass catching his game at Ohio State? Man, I don't think so. I think the point of Ezekiel Elliott was that he was a workhorse. I mean, he could catch. Obviously, he did catch passes, but he had that 1 year in Dallas where suddenly he had almost close to 100 targets. And I don't think anyone would have expected that out of Ezekiel Elliott.
Maybe Leonard Fournette. How many?
Leonard Fournette is another one. But again, that was later in his career. He suddenly became a pass catcher. So again, we have the same thing with both Ezekiel Elliott and Leonard Fournette. They suddenly became a pass catcher. Why? Because it was necessary. And what mattered? It's that they could do it. I usually consider pass catching as an on-off thing. You can either do it or you can't. And if you can, then it's dictated by opportunity. Outside of a very select few who are a plus in pass catching. You're talking about Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara. Those are a plus. But, your average Dalvin Cook is not a plus or a minus. Ezekiel Elliott is not a plus or a minus. Josh Jacobs, Miles Sanders, David Montgomery. Saquon Barkley was supposed to be a plus, but he has not been. Not been a plus at receiving. Very bad, actually.
So I filtered down my database real quick to players with less than 40 receptions in college. That might be a little high, but you get players like Jonathan Taylor, Jerick McKinnon. Funny enough,
that's a weird one. Yeah,
that's weird.
Definitely on there.
Melvin Gordon, AJ Dillon, James Conner, Jamal Charles.
Whoa. Well, he didn't play a lot. Well, no.
So the point.
That's weird.
The point of this is that it can be important, but it's not everything.
Boston Scott.
Well, that's another weird one because Boston Scott became a pass catcher in the NFL.
Yep.
So
Ray Rice,
again. So
Miles Sanders, who I think can catch the ball.
Not the Miles Sanders I wrote about today. That one can't catch the ball. So I don't know which Miles Sanders we're talking about, but I must have missed the one that can catch the ball.
Penn State Miles Sanders was different.
Yeah, that one maybe rookie year Miles Sanders, but he's gotten much worse. It's been very bad.
Tyler, buy low QB2s. What do we think?
Derek Carr. It's always Derek Carr. It's
Derek
always
Carr,
been
yes.
Derek Carr. And I've noticed that all of a sudden people hating Mac Jones has become the cool thing to do.
Mhm.
I don't really understand why. I mean, he was a rookie. He won a lot of games. He played well. What did you expect? Him to come in and light the fantasy world on fire as a rookie? He was good. I don't. But all of a sudden, it feels like people are so icky around Mac Jones, and I don't. What changed? What is the source of this ickiness or negative feelings that I'm sensing towards him? I don't know.
Lack of rushing upside, probably.
Right, but what changed? That's the same as it was when people liked him, when they were obsessed with him. What changed in the last 6 months, other than just
people realized it? Maybe they just Mac Jones, and then now they realize it.
Literally, it was talked about all last draft season. All you could hear about was statue, and now they realize he was actually more mobile than I think you expected. I think he's actually better in that area than people thought. So that's not what happened. It's just that I don't know what happened. So yeah, if that vibe is lowering his value, I would be interested in Mac Jones as a QB2. But him and Carr are my choices.
Who are your favorites here, Addison?
Carson Wentz. Oh, sorry. I just sorry.
Is that a quarterback in the NFL? I know of someone named Carson Failure, but Carson Wentz I've never heard of.
Listen, man, as long as I continue seeing people ask me if they should buy Carson Wentz for the 210 in Superflex, I'm going to continue to say yes. So
the 210, I think I would take it under serious consideration. I would consider it for that price. He is so bad. He is so bad. He has a bad attitude, too. A bad attitude. If you have a bad attitude, you will not last in the NFL if you suck. If you're good, you can have as bad of an attitude as you want. But if you suck, nobody liked him. You notice that? In Philadelphia, no one liked him. In Indianapolis, they couldn't wait to show him the door. How do you think it's going to be in Washington? A team that's already a disaster. It's already a disaster. And now Carson Wentz is going to come in. Do you think that's going to go well or poorly? Which of those two seems more likely? I think it's going to go poorly.
To tell you how poorly
he's valued behind Baker Mayfield, Marcus Mariota, Daniel Jones, and Mitch Trubisky. And
I don't think that. Well, I don't think Carson Wentz finishes the 2022 season as Washington's starter. There you go. How about that? I think that for your fantasy playoffs, you won't be able to use him because he's going to be sitting his ass on the bench where he belongs.
I just looked at the trade finder, and there's a trade of Carson Wentz for Mitchell Trubisky where 311 was added to the Wentz side to get Trubisky.
I'm telling you, he was the QB 14 in fantasy last year. He wasn't bad.
Well, it's going to get much worse this year.
Wow. I can't even believe it.
Carson you could buy him. 2020 low light tape. Did you watch the video? No. I suggest go on YouTube. It's been a while since I've reminded the people. Go on YouTube and search Carson Wentz 2020 lowlights. And then you tell me if that's the quarterback you want on your fantasy team. You tell me if that's the one you want.
Ryan Tannehill is another guy that kind of strikes me like he's valued way low. I think there's a lot of older quarterbacks, I think, are the ones that in this I'm typically thinking about. If I'm trying to buy low on a QB2, that's probably who I'm looking at.
The answer is always Kirk Cousins. Literally always Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins, I could do without.
Oh, QB 13 right now is Trevor Lawrence. That's who you need to buy.
Oh, well, in that case, then I'm all in.
All right, let's see. Yeah, it's me, Yepers. Welcome back, Cal. Taco Tuesday, Waffle Wednesday. I like he's got the waffle in there too. I love it. Cal, welcome back. What's up, Sean? Bella D, 12 team, Superflex, PPR, Saquon Barkley, or Clyde Edwards-Helaire plus MVS plus Calvin Ridley plus a 2023 late second. Tyler.
So it's four of my least favorite players in one trade. They're up there. I'll take Saquon Barkley because I saw today, just today, so it didn't make it up. Go to ESPN. You can go read it. Today's mock draft that I read, I think it was from Daniel Jeremiah, but I'm not 100% sure. You can go read it. It's on ESPN. It's the insider content. They had, at 50 overall, the Chiefs selecting Breece Hall. So if you think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is bad now, wait until that happens. So yeah, no, I'll take the Saquon Barkley side. This other side is a bunch of garbage, and then we can get rid of Saquon Barkley for something else that I actually want.
Obviously I've always kind of liked Clyde Edwards-Helaire, like just he was on that LSU team that was so good. So like part of me feels something for him. But don't you kind of want like them to do a move like you just said, like get a Breece Hall or something, so we don't spend the offseason like arguing about Clyde Edwards-Helaire versus Ronald Jones? Like, do we want that argument?
Well, there's nothing to argue about. I mean, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is failure, but Rojo is big failure. So if we're comparing failure to big failure, we'd always prefer failure, but it's still going to be bad because Clyde Edwards-Helaire is completely unreliable. And you know the worst part is they've added another running back who can't pass block to save his life, who can't, his hands of stone. So who are they going to go to on third down? If they don't draft Breece Hall, what are they going to do? They're going to bring in another running back to create a three-way committee. Do we want a three-way committee? Does that sound good? How was it last year when Darrell Williams and Clyde Edwards-Helaire were both active? Could you use anybody? No. So how is it going to be when there are three running backs active? You want them to take Breece Hall to clear up this nonsense.
I just don't want to repeat where we argued about the Atlanta backfield for months, and then it was somebody completely different. Maybe that'll be the case here.
Yeah.
Josh, good to see you. Good to see you too, Josh. Dustin Cal's back. Yes, Addison filled in admirably. I know he did. He's amazing.
Yes, people have been demanding more Addison, and I find that interesting because I do get the sense that a lot of the people demanding that are, from my Patreon or something, and they're coming to watch this show. And they're not aware that Addison, there's plenty, actually more of Addison on all the other videos on this channel. This is the only video I'm on, but there's actually a lot of Addison that's available on this channel that they can watch.
There can never be too much Addison, though. There can never be too much.
But I was like, there's plenty of Addison out there. Much more than me.
12-team Superflex, half PPR. Would you trade Tua, Hopkins, 108 for Josh Allen?
Absolutely. Easy. Yeah. Easy money.
Trade Penny for 23 second this morning. He did that. Pass or fail?
I give it a meh.
I'll take it.
Absolutely, I'll take the second.
I can't give it an A. It's fine.
God, I feel like Rashad Penny's fool's gold. I
think he's fool's gold too. But what am I going to do? Getting a 23 second? I'm going to give that an A? Probably not, right? I mean, that's not that exciting. I saved my A for the last trade, getting Josh Allen.
What do you think about the Eagles and Saints trade? That was one that shook things up a little bit. How does it shake up the draft? What does it do for Hurts?
Terrible trade. What are the Saints doing? They're giving away their 23 first? That person's going to be top 5. Howie Roseman, as much as I criticize Howie Roseman, this was actually, and I do criticize him, this was a good move. I actually really like the move for the Eagles. The Saints, they paid so much extra too. And it's in my Miles Sanders article as well, that I think that the Eagles are going to take a running back with that. Now they have an extra third round pick. I think they're going to take a running back to eliminate the Miles Sanders from having to see too much of the field.
What are they doing, Addison? What are are the Saints do they have somebody at 18? They're like, yes, this is exactly who I want at 18.
I was curious to see. I already have been pegging the New Orleans Saints as a team to draft a rookie wide receiver with that first. So now I'm curious if they do too. Michael Thomas ain't going to be there too long and they have nothing behind him. Or I'm sure that they have a couple, maybe it's a kind of a hedge that, they like somebody else and they want a wide receiver. So they're trying to maneuver in that sort of way. But literally right after the trade, I saw all these reports that the Saints were meeting with Treylon Burks. They were meeting with Jameson Williams. They were meeting with Chris Olave. They were I'm really honed in on the fact that somebody is going to the New Orleans Saints in that teen range.
What it shows is that they want Jameis Winston to actually be the guy. That's what it shows, because they gave away their 23 first.
If there are any lifelong Saints fans watching this, they know that that's going to be a defensive end and a cornerback taken with those two picks. And none of the fun things we want to happen are going to happen.
I actually do think it's a high likelihood that one of those picks is a receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Zach, well, what about from the Eagles side? It's a no-brainer, right? I mean, does it make them less likely to draft a quarterback, do you guys think? Is this one of those things?
They
Addison,
wouldn't drafting a quarterback this year.
I didn't think so either, but I think there was a lot of speculation that they could do that.
Yeah. So, if anything, maybe it hedges their bets that if Jalen Hurts isn't the guy, now they have multiple firsts next year. Yeah, better quarterback class.
I think
maybe the Saints is top 5, like you said. I don't know.
Everybody knew that Jalen Hurts was going to be the starter in 2022, and if he sucks, he's not going to be the starter in 2023. And now they have an extra first-round pick. If they want to replace him, they can do it. I mean, that feels pretty transparent. I just don't understand why the Saints allowed them to get all this extra value. That's the part I don't get.
It was kind of a no-brainer, kind of like the Dolphins move last year when the Dolphins traded up with the Eagles. It was just kind of like, how do you not accept that?
Howie Roseman, again, not as bad as in some ways. Player evaluation, not good. Trading, better.
I kept expecting there to be a second move. I kept expecting there to be like a trade up or something.
Too, but I guess there isn't.
All right, here we go. Zach, I have the 102 and 103 standard league. Most likely.
I don't know
the rest of that question, Zach. Oh, here we go. Most the 102, 103. Burks is supposed to be the 101, is what he was telling me. Who would you take now before the NFL draft happens? So if you had to say who the 102 and 103 were, who do you guys have there?
It's the 2 running backs.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would take the 2 running backs.
Yeah. If Burks is really 101, I'd take the 2 running backs.
Yeah, but he shouldn't be.
If he takes Hall, which would be the smart move, then it's Walker, and for me, it's Drake London in a 1 quarterback. But
over Kenneth Walker.
It's Walker and Drake London if he has 2 and 3. Yeah.
I'll take Walker and Burks, but I don't like it.
Sean, Deandre, and 207 for 2023 first and third, 12-team Superflex.
Deontay Johnson just does not carry the value that he should. He always tops my list of buys, and this trade is ridiculous. So I'll take Deontay Johnson easily.
Same, Addison?
Oh, yeah.
You're a Steelers guy, too. Any worries about Deontay this year at all, coming back to earth a little bit?
No, I think Mitch.
They don't want to pay him so they can find the money for Tyrann Mathieu.
They already have the money for Tyrann Mathieu.
This is what I was hearing from the last Steelers thing I was reading.
Get rid of Chase Claypool to get money for Tyrann Mathieu.
Well, Chase Claypool's not making any money.
West Coast Chiefer, welcome back, Callan Helligins. 12-team Superflex PPR. David Njoku is a free agent in my league. What rookie pick would you be drafting David Njoku? Thanks.
So in one of my Patreon leagues in this exact format, I just 12-team Superflex, not tight end premium. I just was like, they had David Njoku. The 211 was offered, and I was like, take it. So it's lower than that. I would say like the 308. I have no interest in David Njoku. 5 years of failure. Just a good quarterback is going to fix it immediately. A good quarterback is going to eliminate 5 years of failure. I don't want to hear about that. So I have zero interest in David Njoku.
He's probably the best pass catcher in that tight end group, though, right?
Who cares? I like, you think that the receiving group is done? I think that you're going to see a receiver drafted and also potentially Will Fuller signed. Fuller signed and a receiver could be drafted. So it could be even worse than that, but that's one possible outcome. I also think you can get Jarvis Landry back. Either way, Njoku is not good. So 5 years of bad. Why did he become good now?
It's true. Scott, what's the value of the number 1 rookie pick? Compare it to like
I don't know how to answer this.
Where would you have Hall in a dynasty startup right now?
Superflex?
Yeah, let's say super flex.
Well, Hall. I mean, I would have Hall as
He's currently the RB6
RB6.
in mid-second.
21 up right behind Javonte Williams
Yeah, I would have him as the RB6.
That's
in
a little
Superflex.
high for me.
Yeah, 6 is good for me.
Superflex 101 or Trevor Lawrence, Addison.
Addison,
I would-
be careful with your mentions.
I would take the 101. I got to be consistent. I said that 2 weeks ago, and I would still do that.
I'll take Lawrence.
101
Easily.
or Justin Fields, Tyler.
Oh, not Fields. 101.
101 or Jalen Waddle.
101. Pretty easily.
Ooh, okay. 101 or I gotta go a little higher for you then. CeeDee Lamb.
I'll take Lamb. Barely.
Curtis, I'm heavy at running back in a 12-team Superflex. I've got Travis Etienne, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Ronald Jones, and Khalil Herbert, I assume that is.
Okay, so we're taking a rewind. You're not heavy at running back. You have this. How is this heavy at running back?
Yeah,
This is
Swift, Barkley, and JK. And then those guys.
then it's better.
okay.
Okay. I didn't see that part. We didn't get to that part.
Would you trade any of the Travis Etienne, Edwards-Helaire, Ronald Jones, Herbert for Amon St. Brown? 3 pretty surely you would, right, Tyler?
Yeah, the last 3 and Etienne, no. I'll keep him.
Same, Addison?
I could go either way on ETN or Amon Ra. That one's pretty close for me. If you offer the other 3, you're gonna get laughed at. So
Yeah, that's
it needs
true.
to be a first rounder plus one of those guys. So
I do like Amon Ra a lot. I don't think it was a fluke.
I would rather see if you wait for after the draft, because I'm almost guaranteed that the Lions are going to pick somebody. And when they do, Amon Ra's value is going to go down. Even if you can argue that it shouldn't, but it will. So,
Yeah, but there's also the risk that the Jaguars pick a running back because they have 2 injured running backs. So not sure Etienne is someone I might look to move him anyway. You should be able to get Amon Ra plus, by the way. At least according to what I've seen.
Henry, last week I was asking about the trade offer, not accepted or rejected yet at that time. Yeah, there we
I
go.
still had a reaction to it.
We did that one. Giddy up. Hey there, fellas. Aiming to get younger at running back. Who you prefer of Akers, Dobbins, or ETN? Or are you out on all and recommend another of that flavor?
Akers.
That's who you prefer out of those 3?
Yes. Easily.
I think I would take Dobbins.
No. Dobbins is having a delay. It's going to take a long time now, it sounds like. Now, he's not going to be ready for camp. He should be ready. Why isn't he going to be ready? Akers returned in record time, but Dobbins is going to be a delay. It's all of a sudden, well, now he might be ready at some point, late in training camp. That is already a long delay off of when he was supposed to come back. So I don't want to hear about a delay. So I'll take Akers in that case. This is very recent that suddenly I'm hearing that Dobbins is not healthy, and it's going to be a long time. So that won't work for me. ETN apparently is good to go, allegedly. So he claims.
I'm good with Akers. I don't honestly, what you could do is just take one of those guys and then drop down even further and pick up Josh Jacobs and then continue to add additional.
I'm fine with that. Like, if you can send Dobbins for Jacobs plus, I am all in on it. I want to get rid of J.K. Dobbins at the moment. Once you start hearing once we start hearing injury is taking too long, I don't want to hear about that. So then it's time to get rid of that player because one bad thing leads to another bad thing. And then, suddenly they're not ready. And I don't want it. That won't work for me.
Or Elijah Mitchell. Do the same thing, but with Elijah.
I would like Elijah Mitchell. I like Elijah Mitchell a lot. That's something I think we all share.
Dobbins and Akers certainly clearly above ETN.
Yeah, just because ETN, I've never actually seen him be good in the NFL. The other 2 I have.
I do think the fact that the Ravens haven't brought anybody else in maybe says more about Dobbins or Edwards than some of the words from Harbaugh.
It's not true. They're going to sign someone if they don't draft anyone, but their own GM said this week that they would absolutely consider taking a running back in this year's draft if the right one appears. They actually specifically mentioned the running back position as something they were targeting. in the same interview where they said that Dobbins was not going to be ready. That interview, and where Gus Edwards is also not going to be ready. So we'll see about that.
Jacob went productive struggle, which if anybody's watching this does not know what productive struggle is, Addison did a really good video with Ryan a while back where he did described and explained. So just search Ryan McDowell productive struggle pretty much anywhere, but on the DLF channel, you could search that and find a lot of good information. Watch a great video from them. But so Jacob went with that strategy in year 1 and now has 14 first-round picks over the course of the next 3 years.
I love it.
Has Fields, Lance, Zach Wilson, DK, the rest of his team, trying to find balance of using picks and trading for players. So in this kind of situation where you have a surplus of picks, at what point do you start thinking about taking those picks and turning them into veterans that you know are going to produce for you? Addison, what do you think? Start with you.
I mean, I would like the wide receiver room to be a little bit more secured. So, because usually what I like to do is I like to have the productive struggle to where my quarterback position and my wide receiver position is pretty strong. My opinion, I don't necessarily see that here yet. It's very young, a lot of potential, so it could turn into that pretty easily. Especially depending, like if DK gets traded, I think that this looks a lot better almost automatically. But and then those first round picks kind of get used for rookie running backs. So then you just have those as immediate producers and you're good to go. And then you're competing. So, I mean, I would continue just to take players. I wouldn't feel the need to trade those picks unless you get actual value for them. Like if you're getting legitimate good offers, I wouldn't be afraid to sell them, but I also wouldn't be afraid to just take first round rookies,
What do you think, Tyler?
I mean, in Trade Addicts 8, I have 8 firsts this year. I've sat on them, and I have 6 firsts next year, so 14, same as Jacob. And I've sat on them. So haven't gotten the offers I wanted. I'm fine with that. I'll make the picks if I have to. I don't have a problem. But, I'm very good at trading during the draft. Sometimes during the draft, you can get value you can't get at any other time. So be active during your rookie draft, and you might be able to exploit opportunities you can't get the rest of the calendar. It's easier when the pick's on the clock.
Or just make the picks. Drafting's always fun.
Yeah,
yeah.
I like hitting the button and like actually adding the player to my team. I do kind of like that. Yeah. It's like the rush that Addison gets when someone hits the like button.
Oh.
By the way, you should make sure that you are subscribed to the YouTube channel below. Make sure that's not a red button. Hit the button. If it's red, that means you're not subscribed. You should subscribe, and you need to hit notifications, and definitely like this video. Like Tyler said, it makes Addison happy when you do. No matter where you are, if you're watching this on repeat, doesn't matter. He could be sleeping, and like you hit that like button, he knows it. Jacob Johnson traded Ayuk and 310 for Burrow and 403. 1 QB, half PPR, 10 team. I had Cousins at QB, deep at wide receiver, including Chase, Jefferson, and Waddle. Congratulations. Have 1, 2, and 1 forward in this rookie draft. What do we think?
I mean, it's one of those trades that looks weird in a 1 QB. I actually have Ayuk ranked higher than Burrow in 1 QB ranking, so I guess I would take that side. But I understand why you did this.
I like Joe Burrow.
I'm being so nice today. I understand why it's so not me. But anyway.
FF Lefty letting Zach know if somebody takes Burks in front of you at 101, you owe them a present.
You do.
I think I'm rubbing off on FF Lefty.
Yeah.
That sounds like something I would say.
Thank you, Zach. I appreciate that. Joel says, new to the show, so I've never asked a question before. All right, good job. See how Joel's stepping out there and asking the question? You guys need to do that too. If I use the hashtag AskDLF on Twitter, will my question come up on the show or will it be answered on Twitter? Thanks for the help. I don't think we're searching. Anybody right now is currently searching for that hashtag.
We used to do that in the old days. Nowadays, we fall behind on the chat as it is. Yeah. So going back and doing questions on adding questions, we've never had time for that. In terms of getting your questions answered on Twitter, I will say that, if you tag the DLF account, that isn't any of us. So, you're getting whoever runs that. So Eric, or Corey. And if you tag me, you'll get a response.
Right.
Or leave a comment on a YouTube video, because then that's me as well.
That's true. Yeah, the DLF account on the YouTube videos is Addison.
Is me.
So that's how you can get a response from Addison.
Kelsey Mercer, 10 teams. Well, hang on. Joel, thank you for asking the question. And you can right now on here, you can use the live chat and ask us any question you want, and we will do our best to get to it right here.
Yeah, if you just tag me on Twitter, I will answer it. And also, I will say, and I say this a lot, every additional person you tag in addition to me decreases the likelihood that I answer your question. If you just tag me, I'll always answer.
Kelsey, this is a question. So the team, Josh Allen, Russell Wilson, DK, CD, T. Higgins, Waddle, Judy, Elijah, MT, Hawk, CMC, Barkley, Swift, Penny with 104 this year and 2023 first. They start consolidating. If you get a team like this, I mean, there's a lot of talent there. Should Kelsey in a 10-team league start consolidating to try to get better options? What do you think?
It's a lot of text.
How many starters?
I mean, in a 10-team league, I would say, yeah, you should consolidate. Like Judy is kind of okay. There's a lot of good players here. You have somehow DK, Lamb, T. Higgins, and Waddle all on the same team, and then more also. Yeah, definitely some consolidation is in order. You can get rid of Barkley. Start with that. Get rid of Barkley, and maybe package him with Michael Thomas for something better. You can start with that. Get rid of the players I don't like. I like that one.
Yeah, I was looking at like Barkley, Michael Thomas, Jerry Judy. Waddle carries some value, but depending on how you view him with Tyreek as well, if you don't really want to take that chance, you could just easily bump off of him for something amazing as well. Like you have a lot of firepower to easily turn into different firepower.
All right, though, all the pivot options off of Waddle are sitting in the 3 names next to him.
That's true.
Okay, who on this list would you? Let's say that who would you not trade on this list to move from 104 to 101?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't trade DK or Lamb or Higgins to move from 104 to 101. Waddle either.
Okay. Those
or
4.
McCaffrey. Or Swift. So most
of you would trade Barkley. You go Barkley in 104 to 101?
Yeah, I would trade Barkley in 104 for 101. Yeah, in a heartbeat.
There we go. What about you, Addison? Barkley in 104 for or 101?
No, I'd take Barkley.
Then you'd be taking on failure, so you wouldn't want to do that.
Saquon Barkley went to what school?
Oh, sorry. There, he's right there. Watch my video tomorrow. It's gonna be really funny. For
Master T, get a crazy RAS. Interesting for sure. He's going off the board as the 72nd rookie on DLF's ADP right now, which is
a lot lower than Trey Sermon. Wow.
Yeah. Sorry. Tyler Kevin Smith, South Carolina. That's one of the late round running backs he's saying, I guess.
I could see it.
I'm with it.
What about Dominic Elwood? Should we consider him? No, guys don't get that one. Next. That's a fake player that Jeff Greenwood made up for the fantasy footballers. Dominic Elwood, the running back.
This is prime time to do that. You could
I thought about preparing a whole speech about Dominic Elwood and how I was all in on this running back prospect. I wanted to see how long I was curious. I didn't want to do it, but it would have been interesting how long it would have taken for the people to realize what was going on.
It could be a good game show. Is this a real person or a made up person?
They do that on the Dynasty Tradecast, Debbie or not.
Do they? Okay.
Yeah.
Snoop. What's his name? Snoop Connor. Real person, not a real person. Henry Muto, I lost the championship game to the roster clogger Boyd in 2019 when he scored 33.8 fantasy points against me. Ugh.
Well, he wasn't a roster clogger back then.
That's true.
He is now, but not then. Yeah, we talked about
Harris. I was like, I didn't think it was Kevin Smith. I knew it was Kevin something. It's Kevin Harris.
Kevin Smith is an actor.
Mm-hmm. Paul Blart.
Let's see. Good conversation going on down here. Love it.
Did we talk about this one from Jacob?
Oh, which one?
I think we were on this, and then we were talking about Dominic Elwood or whatever his name is.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, this one. So, should you adjust your rankings to reflect how your league sees value? You hear the contempt in my voice? The answer to the question is no.
Would you be willing to adjust your draft strategy? For instance, you get into a league where no one is drafting quarterback in a super flex league in the first couple of rounds. They're sticking. They haven't been in a super flex league. They're used to drafting one QB, and the running backs, wide receivers are going off the board. Quarterbacks are barely moving.
When you say adjust my strategy, what do you mean?
So if the league is valuing the other positions over quarterback, you could stack your quarterbacks pretty well, but well,
I'm never going to start with 3 quarterbacks anyway. I don't do that. So I guess, I would take other positions, but I would always do that. So that's not really adjusting my strategy.
If you have like the 102 and the 105 in a super flex, Breece Hall goes 101. Are you taking Malik Willis, even though like your league maybe in the past has shown
yes,
they don't care about quarterbacks?
Yes.
I
don't know. What else are you going to do? Right? Try to trade the pick away?
Yeah.
I would still take him. I'm kind of particular. I don't really change my values because other people in the league say that I should very often. I'm very stubborn. I'm even more stubborn as a fantasy manager than I am as a fantasy analyst. I'm much worse as a fantasy manager. So the answer to this question is a hard no.
Jacob Callaway,
if you go into my Patreon Discord, you would hear this. I say this every day. I have that conversation every day, or a version of it. That the answer to that question is always no. That we're going to follow the rankings that I give you in my Patreon, and we're gonna draft off of those, and we're not going to deviate from them unless I give you a good reason to.
12-team Superflex 106 and 107 and 111 for 102. To trade up and get Malik Willis. Already have 101 for Breece. Seems to be a big tier gap after 102.
Feels expensive, no?
It's too much.
Feels very expensive.
It's not expensive.
I would do one of those mid picks and the 111, not all 3.
You found a way to get. Someone found a way in the comments to get banned forever. But yeah, no, I'm not doing this trade. Insulting my hair is you're gone from the show. Forever.
That's sacrilege for sure.
Yeah, no, that was last time you'll ever watch.
So, okay, how about this trade? Would you trade Isaiah Spiller, Matt Corral, and Sam Howell for Malik Willis?
No.
That's currently 106, 107, and 111 right now.
Still, I want the package of players. I'm not confident enough in Malik Willis.
Right. Here we go. The NFL draft will shake all that out. Yeah, that's a lot of this is gonna. You know what? We're probably more accurate right now, though, looking back at history, like on how we value things. So the NFL draft will add some noise, but it's going to add some clarity on some of these that we need some clarity on. But don't adjust too much. I think if we learned anything in the past, that's one.
I think I've seen people do research before that we're generally more accurate before the draft than we are after the draft, because the noise that gets added is we shouldn't be paying attention to the noise.
Well, I'm certainly not more accurate before the draft. So
just as a community, that's why we get AJ Brown falling down into like the 110 because he gets drafted to the Titans.
Well, I think people overreact to landing spot and underreact to draft capital. So that's my opinion on how people react to the draft.
Yep.
Let's see, 12-team Superflex Davis Mills, 208, or David Montgomery.
I'll take Montgomery still.
Monty.
It's not crazy.
Eric. Oh, sorry.
It's not crazy, but I'll take Montgomery.
Eric, give me an unpopular failure from each one of you guys. I'm not sure, I guess an unpopular opinion. Or
I think most of my failures are low-hanging fruit. Like, I'm usually aligned with the people on most of these failures. I mean, Carson Wentz, Denzel Minimal was the original Minimal. Is he unpopular? I mean, I don't know. Baker Mayfield, I hate. Nobody's really in on Clyde Edwards-Helaire or Miles Sanders. So
yours is Saquon. I mean, you have like planted your flag there, and you're the low guy on him.
Carson failure is the original failure, not
Yeah.
Saquon. Carson failure is the original one, but nowadays it's probably Saquon because Saquon is the one that I am so against that it has some people who are still in. A lot of the ones that I was out on him have been proven right. I mean, Carson failure has just become more bad over time. You know, Clyde Edwards failure continued to be bad. Denzel Minimal is barely even in the league. So, you know, but yeah, Saquon Barkley is definitely the one where I take a little bit of heat for that opinion.
My most popular one probably is, my most popular unpopular is Gabe Davis, because for some reason Emmanuel Sanders and Cole Beasley are the reason that Gabe Davis can't break out as a second-year player. And then the most recent one, the one that was on Twitter, was Christian Watson, because I said that he wasn't a top 10 wide receiver in this class and he's completely overdrafted. And
Oh no, you're gonna get dragged.
Oh, I did get dragged. I had some freaking Christian Watson fans in my
I have him at
in my
10.
mentions.
I have him at 10, so I disagree with you, but just barely. Wide receiver 10.
I don't think he's top 10. I'm much more interested in a lot of other guys in that range, like Justin Ross or Alec Pierce.
Yeah, I'm interested. I mean, for me, also, you mentioned Gabe Davis. I have him very close in value to Dudu Smith-Schuster, who, by the way, I'm only using that nickname because we got somewhere in here, we got someone using the... Oh, did we get rid of that comment? Anyway, move on.
Chase Claypool was one I was not in on last season. Bryan Edwards is another one that, like, I didn't understand the hype.
I was there on the hype in year one because I was like, oh, he's got the breakout age. He's in. He's
17,
in. Then,
right? Breakout age 17 or whatever it was.
And then I saw him play.
Bryan Edwards was up there on the Tyler disaster list with Jacob Harris. Most time wasted. Most time wasted talking about the people in a good way. Jacob Harris and Bryan Edwards. We'll give awards at the end of the year to commemorate a whole year of Ask DLF. We'll do an Ask DLF awards ceremony. And I need my failure T-shirt.
Edwards says it's okay, Tyler. You can hate Hollywood Brown. You get a lot of pushback on Hollywood Brown.
Untrue that I hate Hollywood Brown. Untrue. I don't hate Hollywood Brown at all. Actually, I much prefer Hollywood Brown at value to Rashad Bateman. So it's untrue.
Where's Akash? Isn't he the one that's always the Hollywood?
He's a Hollywood Brown truther, but
yeah,
I would say that I'm more in the middle on Hollywood Brown actually, compared to most. Bateman is the one that I'm out on at cost.
I agree. He's Lamar's like he's a dude. I mean, like I think he's underestimated.
Yeah, but this outside, I did hear a discussion of the Baltimore Ravens are going to be very interested in trading for DK Metcalf. So could you imagine?
Oh my goodness.
Could you imagine how great that would be for Lamar and how bad it would be for every receiving weapon on the team?
It would.
Well, Lamar would be my redraft quarterback one. Let me tell you.
Henry's right. That was kind of a knock on Jonathan Taylor for sure.
I don't remember buying into that knock.
Yeah, I remember it being talked about a lot though.
It was in there.
I wasn't worried about it.
We were in peak, like Christian McCaffrey just came off of like 9 receptions. Jonathan Taylor.
I think we're more remembering that Nyheim Hines was on the team, and we're remembering that we didn't think he would get catch passes after the draft. I don't remember this being talked about too much pre-draft.
It was.
To be fair, he's only had like 36 and 40 receptions. It's not like he's got.
Which I think Kenneth Walker can do that, and he's totally fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Richard. Appreciate that. Grant, I want Monty. That's a answer to the question earlier. Thank you, Randy. We love you too. Rob took y'all's advice a few days ago to fix my wide receiver room and traded my 2024 first, second, third, Gage and Carter for Mike Williams, DJ Moore, and a 2023 second. Quite happy with the trade.
I love it. I give you an A-.
That's money.
That's
money.
Great trade.
A-.
Is that Michael Carter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, DJ Moore, like this seems very cheap to end up with DJ Moore on your team.
Oh, it is cheap. Yeah, people hate DJ Moore. I mean, what I've heard on Twitter, like DJ Moore sucks, blah blah blah. I don't know. People are hard on DJ Moore for whatever reason.
What do we think about Rob's team? Justin Herbert, Tua, Carr, Trubisky, Javonte, Etienne, Fournette, Sanders, Tyreek, DJ Moore, Mike Williams, Judy, Bateman, Pitts. Is that a strong contender in a? Oh, he says 105, 108. Doesn't say how deep his league is. In a 20-team league, absolutely.
This is a pretty good team, but it's not. I wouldn't say this is probably not the best team in the league. This is probably somewhere around 4 or 5. If I
was gonna say you're a high wild card.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like I like Tua as a QB2. I like Carr as a QB2.
Herbert will
Javonte is probably the only running back I like a lot here.
Fournette could return top 10 value. He could have two top 10 running backs here, maybe even 2 top 5. Fournette was top 5 last year.
That's true. Fournette is great for a contender.
Trevin, Josh Jacobs or Ramondre St. Brown in a full PPR 1 QB.
Just given the scarcity, I'll take Jacobs.
I feel like that. I just feel like Josh Jacobs gets disrespected way too much.
He does.
Go watch my video.
He's still so young.
Yeah.
Barkley was a monster PPR machine his rookie year.
Yes, he was.
And that was almost 4 years ago.
I wish that Barkley still existed.
And he doesn't.
Jerick McKinnon played quarterback in college, didn't he?
Oh, maybe he did.
If he did,
No.
before my time.
That we should have done. Richard Davis, 10-team Superflex team is QBs. Okay, here's his question. What should be looking to acquire? He's got Mahomes, Dak, Lance, Dylan, Singletary, Sanders, Jefferson. So he's set at wide receiver.
Yeah, he has a lot. Wide receiver is very good.
He's set at tight end.
Yeah.
Mahomes.
And quarterback is good. So everything is great. So I think you're in good shape. Yeah, I would just relax.
Your running backs aren't good.
Yeah, I mean it could be better, but I wouldn't force it. So just see what happens. I'd relax and take it easy.
Keep that core together.
Yeah.
Spock, DJ Moore plus Marlon Mack, or to go back. This is where like you take a lot of like late round flyers in your rookie draft on running backs. Just take a bunch.
Yeah, if he has them.
Yeah. DJ Moore plus Marlon Mack or Godwin in 210.
I'll take DJ Moore, but whatever. This is whatever.
I think I'll take Godwin. Moore and Godwin are so close that if you could sell Marlon Mack for a second, that's money. So,
yeah, I feel, gosh, it's close. I think this is about right. Marlon Mack. Where is he's in Houston right now?
Yeah, he's in Houston.
Okay, so Richard Davis looking for a last flex spot player that's an upgrade. That's one back of that.
From the cheap then. How about that?
Josh Jacobs.
Eric, people are icky on Mac Jones because he has no ceiling.
He never had it. He never had a ceiling. You just realized this today? I don't think so. So I don't understand what changed from January to April. Nothing except perception, I guess. I don't even know why that changed, but it did. But people should have known this already. I've known this the whole time. This is not new information. It really shouldn't be. If it's new information to you, I don't know where you were during the 2021 season.
I know we hate Devonta Parker, but it helps Mac a little bit, right?
Oh,
No.
anything's better than Nelson Aguilar.
Yeah, like you can't be much worse than their wide receiver room last year. I mean, I think he helps.
You want to know something funny? I did a Devontae Parker video, and I went through the whole thing. And then 2 days later, I saw an article about N'Keal Harry being traded. And I was like, oh, I didn't even occur to me that I could have talked about N'Keal Harry in that video on Parker being on the Patriots. Did not even cross my mind that he was there. I talked about Aguilar. I talked about Bourne. I talked about Myers. I talked about Hunter Henry. I talked about Jonnu Smith. But talking about N'Keal Harry slipped my mind. Oops. Guess he's that irrelevant.
I cannot believe how ugly the skill position players are for Houston. I'm sitting here looking, and they've got Rex Burkhead, Dare Agumbawale, Marlon Mack, Royce Freeman.
Brandon Cooks is better than anything New England has.
And they want to trade him.
To New England.
Which would be awesome.
Back to New England.
Back to New England.
Randy Watt, 14 team, Superflex, Hurts, Zach Wilson, Taylor, Damian Harris, Elijah Moore, Chase Pitts, one open flex spot to fill in August, got 103, 110, 203, 204, and 2023 first. Would you try to move up to 101?
No. In a 14 team league, this team, if this is really all you have, you're short on depth. So no. We're not packaging up to move up to 101. Let's just get our depth in there. So no.
I was going to say, do you try to break Taylor up?
You might have to, but the answer to the question asked of do you move, this is not a team where we're packaging things to move up to 101.
Mm-hmm.
The answer to that question is no.
Yeah, more darts.
You might could get a quarterback at 103 and 110.
I don't see that.
You need quarterbacks.
Well, taking quarterback at 103 would be a reach. And 110, they'll all be gone in a 14-team super flex. So
yeah, you might as well trade back at that point.
Maybe, or trade up from 110. There's a lot of things you can do. Break up Taylor into something that includes a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Mac Jones is stability for your roster, and that is important. You need stability. He's never going to throw 50 touchdowns as long as you're cool with that. Mac is cool.
Yeah. Mac is the next Derek Carr.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think he could be Matt Ryan if he gets like 35 touchdowns in a season. If he gets if DK Metcalf showed up tomorrow, and then that could be really fun. But
yeah, I don't know why he couldn't.
That good. I don't even think he's that good. I don't think he's good at Matt Ryan at his peak. I don't think he's even going to be that good.
I think that's like his top 1%. Like he's like Matt Ryan. Otherwise, he's Derek Carr. Or...
He'd have to show something about him that I haven't seen whatsoever. So maybe, but
he has a great deep ball. I'll give him that. He has a great deep ball.
Sure, but so does Derek Carr.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah. They just need touchdowns.
Yeah. Julio Jones would help. A Julio Jones type player would help.
DK Metcalf.
Well, yeah, but
Why is Julio Jones not already in Indianapolis? Why has that not already happened?
Honestly, he's talking to Green Bay.
He's washed.
It just doesn't. That's not the kind of thing Green Bay seems like they ever do.
Julio is washed. That's why he hasn't signed.
How did y'all adjust expectations for Waddle and Hill with the trade? Who is now over them? That was previous below. So did you move Waddle or Hill, Tyler or Addison?
Well, I've reconsidered my rank of Tyreek Hill because I decided I didn't like it. I've moved him down more. More. Yeah. Now he's down to wide receiver 13. Well, I just have no confidence in Tua at all. And Hill is already 28. If Hill is not a wide receiver 1 this year, where is DeAndre Hopkins rank in Dynasty?
Let me scroll down.
You got ADP. It's like 30, right?
28.
28. So if Hill's not a wide receiver 1 this year, he's not going to be a top 20 Dynasty wide receiver at 29. So, and I'm going to struggle to rank him as a redraft wide receiver 1. He'll be I'm probably going to rank him in redraft as 10 or 11 at best. So if he doesn't hit even that, he's not going to even be 13 like I have him. He's going to be way lower. just because of the age. Waddle, I still have higher because he can survive it. He can survive it not being as good and then get a new quarterback if Tua doesn't work out. He is a lot younger, so he has more insulation. But Tyreek has no value insulation. And I don't have the same confidence in Tua that I have in Derek Carr with Devontae Adams. Plus, I think Devontae Adams is going to age a little better than Tyreek Hill if I had to choose between the two.
Interesting. Tua's deep passes of 20 yards down the field or longer. He's actually second best completion percentage behind only Kyler Murray, but hasn't been allowed to do it a lot. 7.3% of his attempts have been deep passes. Is this a signal that they're going to let him do that more? Because I do remember him being pretty good at that in college.
No. They're bringing in personnel to show that he's not going to do that. He's not going to do that. They're going to try to throw it as close to the line of scrimmage as possible. They're talking about now, obviously, neither Tyreek Hill nor Jalen Waddle is Deebo Samuel, right? There is one Deebo Samuel. But they're talking about deploying them closer to the line of scrimmage to try to get some more of those slant plays that Tyreek likes, those short routes that Jalen Waddle succeeded on last year.
Dude, I'm all for that. If they both have 80-plus receptions at like a 6 or 7 A dot, I mean, they could each score like
Sure, but I think that they're going to do that because their offense is limited by what Tua offers.
For fantasy, that wouldn't be the worst thing, though. At least for the wide receivers.
World, but it's not going to be, since they're not Deebo Samuel, I don't think they're going to be top 5 that way. Plus, there's 2 of them, not 1.
Tyreek Hill has a career high of 24 rushing attempts in a season. Do you think he breaks that this year?
No,
I don't care.
I think he might. I mean, that year he had 24 rushing attempts for 267 yards and 3 touchdowns. It could matter.
Sure.
If he's getting those opportunities.
I don't think he's going to get that many rushing opportunities.
I don't know enough to even try to predict that. So,
Richard Davis, I also just traded Waddle for 3 2024 first. Thoughts, reasoning is in 2 years when those picks kick in, I should be able to get at least 2 of those first back. So in theory, it's renting him for a first.
I get why you would do this, but it's a lot of risk. I understand it, though.
How did you get 3 2024 first?
Yeah.
To then flip for Waddle.
I don't know. But it's fine. It's fine. In a 1 QB, it's better because there's less risk. And a super flex is much riskier. But that's always.
I like the idea.
I don't hate it.
Adam, what's up, man? A snap. The mother-friendlying homies. That's a good-looking squad. Appreciate that. Adam, you are the best. Eric Cousins is a great target. Yep. Yes, Kirk Cousins. Can Juju Doo finish as a top 24 PPR wide receiver? He has to average 15 points per game.
In the comments, but it must have been farther up. Yeah, no, he asked me this on Twitter. I said no. I said no.
Yes, he can.
He
has done 60% of his career.
The Steelers got rid of their infestation in their wide receiver core, and now they're much improved without him.
I feel like the hate's probably gone too far on him.
It hasn't. It hasn't because there's still too many people who think that he has like a wide receiver 1 ceiling. There's too many people who are like,
no. But very good wide receiver too.
He is literally just Tyler Boyd, who is a little bit more athletic. That's it. Nothing more.
Hey, Henry lost to Tyler Boyd a couple years ago, so
that's right.
Might be harsh, but it's okay. The Chiefs are going to draft multiple receivers in the first round, and then we'll see.
And running backs. Apparently.
Well, that was in the second round in this mock that I read today.
They have like 4 picks in the top 50, so they can do whatever they want.
True.
Would you rather? So I just looked at the trade finder: Juju Smith-Schuster or a 2023 round 1 pick.
Ooh,
23.
the one, that one, not Juju.
I would take 23.
Juju and 210 or Elijah Moore.
That's
Elijah.
a joke. Elijah Moore.
These are embarrassing.
Yeah, these are terrible. So clearly there are still people who believe in Juju, unfortunately. They must be listening to the wrong people.
Juju, Cortland Sutton, Michael Thomas, or Cooper Kupp.
Cup. It's a bunch of crap.
Juju or Dawson Knox.
Dawson Knox doesn't do anything for me, so I'll take Juju, I guess.
Yeah.
The Bills have literally said they've wanted to like get another tight end for like 4 years now.
And they're also going to draft. The Bills are interested potentially in drafting another wide receiver.
Oh yeah,
I have no faith in Dawson Knox.
I think I missed a whole bunch of questions.
Dude, I was gonna say that comment was somewhere in a weird stratosphere.
Do you see what I'm seeing? Like it looks
Yes.
like it's like
Yeah, no, I totally see what you're seeing because somehow
it
I don't
goes
know how-
from here to a weird thing and
Yes.
then here.
We've entered the twilight zone.
Well, anyway, I got us back. I got us back to the place where we were supposed to be.
Oh, wait, go back. What is that? Do it again.
No, here. That's where we are.
Okay. Okay. I got Cup for the 2022 210, a 2023 first, which should be late, and a 2023 second. I smashed accept. Then I thought about it. I really like Cup.
You're good. You're good. You
No,
did
you're
a good.
good. You're
You're
good.
good.
That's a
Big
broken
move.
finger trade.
Big moves.
Yeah, keep going, Tyler, because I can't see the rest of these.
I don't know what's going on your guys' end.
I can see. The reason why I didn't name Tua as a quarterback 2 buy low is because he's actually a QB1 because of how fantastic he's going to be.
No. He's on 2 strikes of failure, so he's 1 strike away from being very bad. So we can't have that. So he can't be a quarterback 1 with 2 strikes.
Do you need me to take over?
Imagine if you just tuned in and that's all you heard. Like, I'm starting to realize that if you're new to all these shows, a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about must sound like nonsense. Well, I might have to re-explain the failure system at a later time.
Real quick, Addison, what time do you see that as?
This one right now,
Mm-hmm.
8:36.
Yeah, see, everything from 8:34 to 9:02 is blocked for me, so you just take over.
What?
Yeah,
okay.
It's 9:36 for me because I'm on Eastern time.
Okay, yeah.
Central's better,
But okay, so this one, Najee 2024 second and Gallup, or Josh Jacobs, Elijah Moore, and Hollywood Brown. I feel like that's not enough for Najee, right? It's gotta be the Najee side.
I was gonna say, I think the problem is that you added the sec. Like I would do that for not Najee in the second, or Najee and Gallup would do it.
I'll just take the Najee side. This other stuff is not that exciting.
I'm surprised. I thought you would have said this was a breakdown to Elijah Moore.
No, but see, like that would be the case if Gallup and the second weren't included. Then I might say, oh, okay, you broke down one asset into 3, but why? I don't feel like I should need to include the 24 second and Michael Gallup on that side. That doesn't. Well, why am I paying extra? That's not what I want to do. So then I'm not as interested.
Yep.
Actually, I was able to fix it.
Oh, okay, cool.
What happened?
I don't know. Yeah, good for Cup. I'm just gonna let you guys see that one and then go away. Richard Davis, drop a like so Addison smiles. There you go.
There we go.
Ton of picks, so I don't even really care at this moment. You can't have that, Zach. You can't like let your guard down on value just because you have a lot. You know, like if you have a lot of money, you can't all of a sudden not budget. You got to still like make sure you're doing the right things. Can't do that. I watched 30 on Michael Vick. That's what I learned.
Yeah.
Wesley, how is Penny Fool's Gold? Because he did well to end the season. He did because he was healthy, and
because
that
it took him 4 years to get to
he
that.
had 6 games of success and 3 years and 11 games of failure. So when you weigh, if you look at the scale of failure versus success, it looks like this is success and failure is all the way down here on the table.
Look, I would love it if Rashad Penny played 16, 15 games this year, but
Good luck with that.
there's just no, he's not going to do that. That's
Yeah.
I wish.
He might. And then if he does, we'll remember this conversation.
Mhm.
He has 280 rushing attempts in 4 years.
You know what the crazy thing is? The ageist, the anti-failure over here. I feel like I'm the most willing to listen to Rashad Penny of the three of us.
By the way,
Just on a hard no.
he's going to be 26. So, like,
No,
we're
I
at
know.
the age with running backs we don't want him anyway.
What is he? February 19th, 96 or something? Something like that.
Something like that.
February 18th, maybe? I forget. I'll look that up in the
I just
chat.
assume you're right anytime you say that.
Oh, but the exact date, don't assume. But I think it's February 18th or 19th, 96. Go look that up in the chat if you have some free time.
It's just that if you can get a 2023 second for him, you're doing it all day. Like, for a 26-year-old running back who's never had, like, he had over 100 carries once.
I get it, but what if you need running backs to put in your lineup? I understand what you're saying, but I don't think a 23 second is like a victory lap. Put it that way.
February 1st, 1996.
Okay, so I'll take the month and the year. So sometimes I know the day, not always. Cooper Kupp is the one that I know pretty well. June 15th, 1993.
FF Lefty, Penny I have hope for his sake, but I'm not better on that dude staying on the field. That's the thing, is like his value is so fickle. If he has like a hamstring tweak that limits him in practice, his value is going to plummet. Like,
no, I get it. I understand.
Cal, recovering Ridley Truther. Welcome back, man. What a treat tonight. Love that.
Yeah.
What up, RT? Okay, Mystical Child official. He's back, and he says he's in a 10-team Superflex PPR. He traded Amonra and a 2022 second for DJ Moore. Also flipped Tua and Juju for T. Higgins. That's pretty good. And Daniel Jones. Felt I got slightly better with the wide receiver additions. Daniel Jones is meh at best.
I approve of both of these trades. The DJ Moore one, I like that. I think a second is not enough to go from Amon-Ra to DJ Moore, so I like getting more there. And then the other one, it's a 10-team super flex, so I don't care as much about the quarterbacks. I do still care, but not as much as I usually would, so I'll take T. Higgins pretty easily.
I agree.
Henry says, smash that like button. And listen, good things happen when you do what Henry says. That's the other thing we should say. Really Truther chimes back in. He's from Philly. It feels like they're doing the right thing, giving Hurts another year and wait for the better QB class. Love the move for Philly. How is a trade addict too?
You should go on the Trade Addicts podcast.
Yeah. Cool. FF Lefty 70 plus watching, less than 10 likes. Come on, guys, get it together.
You want Addison unhappy?
Yeah.
You don't want that. Hit the like button.
T. Murphy. I don't even think it's a given. The Eagles drafted QB in 2023. The class is shallow at QB.
But
we don't know that. We don't know that.
Not yet.
How many of these quarterbacks that we're talking about now were we talking about a year ago? Last year,
Yeah, talking about other ones, actually.
Sam Howell.
Right. And is he one of the top 3 quarterbacks in this class anymore? What happened to the other top quarterback? The top 2 quarterbacks. What, one of them has dropped down to being a second-round pick more than likely. The other one is still in college and now at South Carolina. So things change fast.
Rob Downs, 1 QB, PPR, Javante, 101, 105, 206 for Cup, CMC, and Devontae Adams.
I'll take the players on the right.
Me too. You got to, right, Addison? Like, I mean, this is one of those where, like, I get it. Rookie fever. Javante's awesome. Like, I can see making this trade if you're on the other side, if you have no chance of contending and you're worried about aging veterans, but
I could see you possibly trading all 3 of those players for 2 firsts. So you can get 6 first, maybe.
Yeah.
If you work it right.
started with no first, no picks in 2023 or 2024, and Brady was the only QB. I remember this. Randy turned Brady, Swift, AJ Dillon, Mike Williams, and Junk into 103, 110, 2 2023 first, Zach Wilson, Hurts, and Wentz. What do you think?
Well, it's very good.
Holy crap.
Great job. I approve.
That's a lot.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Keep it up. Team Murphy 4188, 12 teams, Superflex, tight end premium, half PPR, Tyler Boyd, Gerald Everett, 2022 204, 2023 second for Kirk, Dalton Schultz, 2022 fourth. Is Dalton Schultz the best player in this deal?
Probably.
I think the two best are on that side.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And tight end premium, then I'll take the Schultz side.
Yep.
Ryan Coppinger, 12 teams, Superflex. Trubisky is a free agent. Where would you take him in the rookie draft?
I mean, I'd rather not, but I don't know, somewhere in the late second.
I think this is going to be common. I think this is going to happen a lot.
Yeah, it easily could.
P2 Thar Blade, but great to see you, Cal. Oh, yeah, you too, Tyler and Addison. Yeah, great to see you, P2 Thar. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's 9:47 or 8:47 if you're in the right time zone like me and Addison. Ravens talking with rookie running backs.
Yep, just like I said.
Yeah. That never is wrong though, right? Like, I mean, always if they're talking to a position, they always take that position.
Not always, but they didn't have to say it.
Adam, I just want to point out how blessed and fortunate we are to have the OG Cal as a host of the Young Goat, Addison as substitute host. Shout out Dim Goats. Adam is the best.
Pretty much.
David Bacata was offered a DK Metcalf and Travis Etienne for the 1-1 in Superflex PPR. Would you trade the pick or just draft Hall?
Trade the pick.
I'd take DK.
DK and Etienne.
And Etienne. Money.
Grant has a competing roster but needs QB help. He has Carr and Tannehill. It's not bad. Who would you trade? Running back Swift, Dobbins, Hall, wide receivers Jefferson, AJ Brown, Ayuk, Kirk, and London. I'd trade Kirk for Mahomes for sure.
Yeah, that would be nice. But I don't know. These type of questions, I say this almost every week. These type of questions are tough on a live show. Mm-hmm. Like on the live show, the type of question that's more likely to get a better answer is, should I trade X for Y? It's tough to go through hypotheticals on a live show, especially we don't see the rest of your team. We don't see the other teams in your league. Just try to give X for Y instead. It's easier on a live show to do that.
FF Lefty, they took Dobbins in the first place because he fell too far according to their draft grades, wasn't targeting him. I could absolutely see them drafting someone with solid draft capital.
Yeah.
They're a smart team.
They are. They'll like if somebody falls that they would have a great grade on, I can see them doing it for sure. TK, best show ever. Welcome back, Cal. Thank you, TK. Tyler Reeves, 103, and Pittman for DK.
It feels pricey. Take 103 and Pittman.
Yep.
Yeah. If that's super flex,
I don't think it matters.
Take 103 and Pittman.
Yep.
Alejandro Galvin, what QB can Mills and DJ Moore or Hollywood get me?
Well, there's a big difference between DJ Moore and Hollywood. I don't know. I mean, Mills and DJ Moore, maybe you could get Mac Jones for that.
Jones, Cousins, Carr. Those are the three.
Pretty much over.
Tua? Could you get Tua?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You
might not need to include Mills for Tua.
Could you get Lawrence?
Well, I would love that, but I don't think you can.
Could you get Fields? Probably not.
Maybe. Fields is more likely than Lawrence. Lance is more likely.
Could you add a little bit more and get Stafford?
Maybe. People like Stafford, though.
Interesting. Oh, Russell Wilson. What about is that something you'd be interested in doing?
I mean, I would love to do it, but I don't think you can.
No, you definitely can't.
PG Thar was glad to see that Addison was in favor of my trade, getting Pitts a fourth. And you mean Addison sided with Pitts? That's shocking, Addison.
So stunning, yeah.
And fifth for Juju and 103 and a 1 QB a few days ago. Excited for my future. Burrow, Chase, Pitts, 102, 106, and 320. Yeah, that's a good, solid core to build around.
Yeah, that's money.
I love it.
Let's see. Aaron, 12 team, 1 QB, Akers, 104 and 2023 second, or 101 and 2023 first.
101 side
101
so easily. 101 side very easily. Yeah, it's not close.
Yep.
If that team earned the 101 and you're going to get their 2023 first with this, that's awesome.
Winning.
Yeah.
T-Fish, welcome back, Cal. Good to see you. Good to see you, T-Fish. What are our Saints going to do with those first round picks, defensive end and cornerback, or an offensive lineman is, something like that. They also might have a quarterback they love that they want to package together and trade up for. I don't know. It's a weird trade if there's not a second trade, in my opinion. By Apple Pie, 14 teams. Superflex PPR is the 211 and the defending champs 2023 second. Too much for Christian Kirk. If so, which wide receiver would you target for a similar package?
That seems like a little bit much, but I'd like to go up a little bit higher on the list than that. If I'm going to pay that kind of, I don't know. Can you get Ayuk for that? People really are down on Ayuk. Really down on Ayuk. That's not realistic. Maybe Hollywood Brown, who I don't hate.
Oh gosh, if I can get Hollywood for 2 seconds, that's unbelievable.
As well, and a 14 team is really even later than you think.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, for sure. Okay,
do better than Kirk.
Yep.
We're gonna go hyper speed as best we can. FF Lefty made a trade today that Tyler isn't thrilled with. 12 team Superflex. Rondale 107 for Zach Wilson and a 2023 second. Only QB on the roster is T-Law. What do you think? We know Tyler's opinion. Addison, what do you think?
Proved it. I said it was fine. I just wasn't jumping for joy over it.
No, I think it's pretty good. I mean, Zach Wilson would probably be roundabouts the 107 in this class anyway.
Yeah,
so
I said
Rondale for a 23 second. I feel like this is just a 50-50 on both sides.
Cole Kmet or Irv Smith?
Kmet, barely.
T. Higgins and Jacobs or CeeDee Lamb in a 2023 first.
Superflex, I'll take Lamb side.
Can Adam drop Jalen Reagor?
Yes.
In a 50 roster.
Yes.
Don't care. Yeah, let him go.
10 team took second last year. Here's his players. This is not a good rapid fire question.
Yeah, no.
Happy Waffle Wednesday, which is awesome because Blake is the reason why we have that. Thank you, Blake. Welcome back out. Just traded Bateman and Deion Jones away for 111 and 2023 first. Bateman's value capped by Andrews, Hollywood, and Lamar's throwing talent.
How'd you get
being number 7?
Yeah, how'd you get this return for Bateman? This is a smash accept. I mean, I don't know how much Deion Jones is worth in your IDP format, but
yeah, I don't know about that either. It could be some crazy defensive heavy, but I'll take the 2 first.
Yeah, 2 firsts. I love this next comment, but we don't have to read it.
I'm not gonna pull the next one up, but despite that weird comment, Buffalo says good content, not hate. So
yeah,
you might have to scroll up on YouTube if you want to see what that was about. Big facts on Tua.
That was like an hour ago.
Waddle's probably the best wide receiver in Dynasty. He broke the rookie record for receptions in a season, and almost half his games with the worst QB in the history of throwing to him. Jacoby failure Brissett.
No, Drew Disaster is the worst quarterback I've actually watched a significant number of games of.
I will raise
Book was pretty bad last year. I don't know if y'all got the chance to see him, but
Mason Rudolph is up there for worst.
10 team Superflex. Do you want the 2022 104, 204, and a 2023 second, or Judy and the 108?
Just give me the 104.
Sure.
2023 first or ETN?
23 first.
I feel like he should be worth more, but he's not. So I'll take the 23 first.
Wow. Najee and Smith, or 101, 103, and 108.
Running backs.
Running backs.
Yeah. Do you ever consider doing IDP content?
No, I'm a known IDP hater. I try not to be too bad about it, but I dislike IDP very strongly. So the odds of IDP content for me is 0% chance, unfortunately.
There are some smart IDP folks.
There are plenty of them, and they do a lot of great work. But IDP content for me is a 0% chance it'll never happen.
Sorry, Christian.
Sorry.
Rookie 106 Ayuk, Mike Williams, Sutton need to choose one.
A startup. He's choosing between these things. I'll take the 106 easily. 106. Yeah.
10-team league switching to a super flex after this year. Not a great idea, in my opinion. How early would you guys consider drafting Malik?
102 then.
Yep.
Yeah.
12-team super flex PPR is the 108 for Darren Waller too much?
Yeah, I mean, if it's not tight end premium, then yes.
Yes, it is.
If it's tight end premium, then no. Then it's fine.
Then that, yes.
Kenny Pickett or Darren Waller?
Kenny Pickett.
I think that's the same answer.
Because that's the 108 right now in ADP.
Right, I think it's the same answer. In tight end premium, it'll be Darren Waller. If it's not tight end premium, I'd rather have Kenny Pickett.
CD and Hollywood or Bateman, Irv Smith, 104 and the year 2024. I'm not sure.
2024 first.
2024 first. There you go.
Yeah. I guess I'll take Lamb, but it feels like
Lamb.
Take the Hollywood side.
Yep.
This is diehard Doll fan. I'm sorry, Addison Tua is failure. We should have drafted Herbert. I mean, sure, but you can't say nobody was thinking Herbert over Tua. There are not many people.
Yeah,
right?
Nobody was.
It's rewriting history. Got to get over it. You should have had Drew Brees, but Nick Saban blew that for you. So that's what you should be thinking about.
I was a very loud voice that Joe Burrow was significantly better than Tua. So I was right about that. But yeah, no, I thought Herbert was a terrible prospect. So I got that very wrong.
Let's see. Oh, we had an answer. Oh, we had a fact checker. Joel, you are welcome to do that every time. There's 17 times.
I was in the right month and year. That's something.
Hold on. I said he was February 1st. Is DLF
You did,
wrong?
didn't you? I think you said 1997 too.
DLF dates are not perfect. We had a problem with Mark Andrews was the wrong year.
It is February 2nd, 1996, according to Wikipedia.
I always trust the NFL's official date. This is always the one I use.
And Pro Football Reference.
Yeah.
Is Kyle Pitts a first-round startup pick in a 10-team Superflex tight end premium league around the 110?
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
About right.
Move back from 107 to 108 if they include 211 Diami Brown and Demetric Felton for it.
I mean, yes, for the 211. The other things are not relevant.
Do you have unlimited roster space?
I was gonna say it feels worse that you have Brown and Felton added on. I would just do it without
Felton is negative. Brown, maybe. I don't know.
Grant says the Saints are going QB, wide receiver. If they don't, this trade is even worse. I get it, but the Saints never do that. They just never do.
I remember in 2018, y'all traded up to the mid round of the first, and I was one of my best friends is a Saints fan, and we were watching the draft together back then, and he was like, "This has to be Lamar. This is Lamar Jackson," and it was like Marcus Davenport or whatever.
Yes, that's right. That's what I mean. Is even then, we didn't think we needed a defensive end. He was our fourth at that point, right? But we gave up 2 firsts for him.
Yep.
I'm telling you, one of those picks is absolutely going to be a defensive end or a defensive back, maybe both of them. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. Deontay and a 23 third for Higgins.
I'll take Higgins. Barely.
Yeah, I'll take Higgins there. 12 team, 1 QB, half PPR, 104 or Godwin?
Godwin.
Thank you, Wessel. Yeah, this is a lot of fun with us three here. Devonta Smith and Juju or Ayuk and Tony?
Man, I'll take
Juju.
Devonta Smith and Juju.
Yes.
Tyler wants the Juju side. I like it.
Yeah.
Tight end premium leagues, thoughts on rookie tight end to focus on? Is there anybody that you're excited about?
I did a whole show on this yesterday. I talked about Trey McBride and told the people that I wouldn't waste their time talking about the rest. That's how I feel.
There's one on here that I was intrigued by, but he's probably not going to matter at all.
Jelani Woods.
That might be him. I already forget his name. That's how much I forget.
In all seriousness, Trey McBride, I would care about him. Everyone else, don't waste your time. I'm serious. I think they're a waste of time. Let someone else pick them. Let someone else talk about them. Let someone else think about them. Don't waste your time. They all suck outside of Trey McBride.
Appreciate you dudes. Keep crushing it. Thank you, FF Lefty. Joel gives us a big thumbs up and wants to know how to break up Taylor. Are you a QB and wide receiver? He thinks he's needy for that. What do you think?
Ooh, well, Trevor Lawrence and Jalen Waddle. Try that. Thinking of that.
See,
I'm being optimistic.
We're goated. I love it.
Thank you.
It's official. Montgomery and a 23 first for DK.
It's a little light. I'll take DK.
DK.
A 6'5", 240 QB with 0 health issues versus 6 foot broken hip. I thought it was an easy choice. Thanks for everything.
Easy, right? If only it were that easy, then you get. But if you pick based on height, you don't get Lamar. You don't get Kyler.
Yeah. Well, you could choose a really great MVP candidate quarterback coming from the Minnesota Vikings or a 5'11", 6 foot quarterback coming off a shoulder injury. Which one would you rather? Dolphins. You should have chosen Drew Brees and not Dante Culpepper. Who was that? That was I can't remember who that was asking.
Nick Saban.
Richard, who's your favorite player to have in fantasy?
Justin Jefferson.
Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase.
And with that, a great show has come to an end. I am excited that I had a chance to come back and do this. I missed you guys. I missed everyone here in the chat. I'm excited to be back. Any last words, Tyler?
No, I'm just happy that you're back. And I'm looking forward to continuing this show.
Anything else, Addison?
Welcome back, buddy. It's glad to have you back.
With that, thank you very much for tuning in. We appreciate every single person. Like we said before, make sure that you subscribe to the channel and leave a like button because Henry said so and because it makes Addison happy. Good night. Have a good day.